Tyson Fury is happily retired?
I think Tyson Fury owes it to himself and his family to remain happily retired.
Bob Arum urges Tyson Fury to stay retired, insisting he's had enough and should focus on life beyond boxing.
And I would advise him not to ever go back in the ring.
Tyson Fury's retirement has once again become a topic of debate, with his longtime promoter Bob Arum suggesting that the heavyweight boxing champion should stay away from the ring for good. Arum believes Fury has done enough in his career and owes it to both himself and his family to remain retired. According to the veteran promoter, Fury has nothing left to prove, and with the fortune he has amassed, financial reasons should not be a factor in making a return. While the British boxing scene may still crave a long-awaited showdown between Fury and Anthony Joshua, Arum does not see it as a compelling enough reason for the fighter to step back into the ring.
I'm not a Brit, so I'm not as fascinated by Anthony Joshua Tyson Fury fight as a Brit may be. So it doesn't move me that he's walking away from boxing and walking away from that fight.
Fury, who officially announced his retirement in January, has a history of making similar declarations. He previously stepped away from the sport in 2017, 2016, and 2013, only to return each time. After defeating Dillian Whyte in 2022, he once again claimed he was done with boxing, but later fought Derek Chisora in a trilogy bout. This pattern has led to speculation that he could reverse his decision once again. He acknowledges that Fury is a natural entertainer with strong communication skills and suggests that he could have a future in other roles outside of boxing. Given his influence, Arum thinks he could serve as a public figure in the sport without having to step back into the ring.
But to make himself useful as a spokesperson, because he can communicate extraordinarily well. People are intrigued by him, and I think he can do a lot of good.
If Fury stays retired, the long-discussed bout with Joshua will remain a fantasy for boxing fans. While the fight would undoubtedly be one of the biggest in British boxing history, Bob Arum does not see it as a major loss. Being an American, he admits he does not view a Fury-Joshua showdown with the same level of excitement as British fans might. In his opinion, Fury's decision to leave boxing is a personal one and should not be dictated by the allure of one last high-profile fight. At the same time, Arum acknowledges that only Fury truly knows what he wants to do. The heavyweight star is unpredictable, and there is always a possibility that he could change his mind.
And I would advise him not to ever go back in the ring.
If Fury did decide to return, Bob would not oppose it. He emphasizes that Fury is intelligent and would not be easily persuaded into doing something he did not genuinely want to do. If the fighter wanted to stage a comeback and work with Top Rank again, Arum would be open to it. However, at this moment, his belief is that Fury should enjoy retirement and focus on his family and future endeavors outside the ring.
Tyson is a very outward kind of person. He communicates well, and he reaches out and he expresses what he thinks. But that being said, do I really know what deep down he's going to do? No, because I don't think he really does.
Frank Warren, who has been closely involved with Fury's career, shares a similar view. He has not engaged in any discussions about Fury returning and states that he would not try to influence the fighter's decision. If Fury were to fight again, it would have to be entirely his choice. Warren, like Arum, simply wants Fury to enjoy life after boxing and spend time with his family.
I think he's made his decision today. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but today that's his decision. He was involved in two really, really close fights, unbelievably close fights, and I'm not going to go into all the opinions of my opinion, whatever, but they were close fights, two unbelievable fighters. He's very wealthy. He's done everything that's been asked of him. He's probably been one of the most exciting fighters you can watch in the ring. I mean, the fights he's had have been unbelievable, dramas in them. And that's without the stuff outside the ring that's been quite dramatic. He's been a phenomenal heavyweight. He's one of the best. I think he's the best heavyweight of the 21st century. Out of him and Usyk, but he's been he's been a magnificent servant of boxing. And when you look where he's come from, on his second coming, all the problems that he had, all the issues he went through, he deserves all what he's getting just for that. I mean, he was a champion for mental health. He's been brave about it, told people about him. He's been unbelievable. He's got, obviously, 1 or 2 best-selling books. He's had a series on Netflix. I mean, it's a success story. Everything's been successful about him.
He can sing a little bit.
And he's not a bad singer, although he don't want to give up the day job.
On the other hand, Anthony Joshua's camp has not completely given up on the idea of a fight between the two British heavyweights. Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn, has expressed his admiration for what Joshua has achieved in the sport, calling him a 2-time world champion who has left a significant impact on British boxing. Hearn credits Joshua for making stadium fights the norm in the UK and inspiring a new generation of boxers. However, he acknowledges that Joshua still feels he has more to accomplish in the sport. This next stage of his career is crucial, and Hearn sees it as a final roll of the dice in ensuring that Joshua makes the right moves before stepping away from the sport himself.
And AJ's pretty chilled. I mean, he's not, I wouldn't say he's got a bad injury, but he's still not actually ready to go back punching fully. A little bit more work, and he will be. And then he's kind of ready. I think the fights that motivate him are Dubois and Fury. Yeah. Like, I can't tell you that Wilder or Parker or Caballel, I'm not saying he's lost motivation, but just like, I don't know, like I think that he wants a big fight next. So once he gets 100%, we'll make those plans. And for me, in a deluded world, I feel like he's going to fight Tyson Fury this year.
Next.
I've got no information on that. It's just purely, I just feel like at some point, Tyson Fury is going to go, let's make the biggest fight in boxing. And that fight gets made like that.
There remains speculation that Fury could be tempted back into the ring, especially if a lucrative offer is made. Former super middleweight champion Carl Froch believes that a massive payday, potentially in the range of £100 million, could be enough to convince Fury to fight Joshua. Saudi boxing backer Turki Al Sheikh is rumored to be willing to put up that kind of money, which could make the fight too financially enticing for Fury to ignore. He said the fight with Anthony Joshua is still huge. As much as I think it's not as big as it could have been and isn't as exciting without a title, if he gets offered £100 million, he'll take the fight. Beyond money, Froch also believes Fury might feel he still has more to give in the ring. Reflecting on Fury's recent performances against Alexander Usyk, Froch suggests that the British heavyweight may feel disappointed in himself. While Fury had advantages in size and weight, he did not perform as well as expected against Usyk. Froch speculates that this frustration might push him to reconsider retirement and return for one last fight to prove a point. Froch further added, when he digs his heels in similar to me, he'll double down on it. A lot of boxers are like that. He retired because, deep down, he probably knows he's past his best. After suffering back-to-back losses to Usyk, Fury was visibly upset, convinced that he had been unfairly judged. Some within his camp claim he remains frustrated by the defeats, which could make his latest retirement decision more firm than previous ones. Froch, who understands the mindset of a fighter, suggests that when Fury digs his heels in, he tends to stick to his decisions. If he truly believes he is past his prime, as some close to him have hinted, he might not see the point in returning. Froch concluded, he lost twice to Alexander Usyk, and I know personally that he is I spoke to someone close to his team, and he's really frustrated and off that he lost the rematch. But he did lose, and he lost fair and square. It was a close fight, but it wasn't very entertaining, not like the first one, which had moments of excitement. In the rematch, not a lot happened, but I think Usyk did enough to win. However, others close to the fighter suggest that he may still have the hunger for one final bout. Fury's cousin Andy Lee has stated that the former champion appears to have lost interest in boxing altogether. If true, it would mean that no amount of money or unfinished business would be enough to pull him back.
I had a quick hello to him on FaceTime, wished him well. There was nothing said because there were so many people there. I don't know. I wish him well, wish him good luck with it. Whatever he wants to do in life, it's his prerogative, isn't it? So if it is genuine, he's retiring, wish him well. If he's coming back, he's coming back. Who knows? So, he's retired a couple of times already, hasn't he? He's just a character, isn't he? He's a character. Yeah, It doesn't. I don't know. I don't know about it. If he's retired, he's retired. If he's not, he's not. You know?
Despite this, Joshua remains optimistic about a future fight with Fury. In a recent interview, he stated that he still sees Fury as the best possible opponent for him. He acknowledges that there are other options, including a potential bout with Joseph Parker, but he views Fury as the biggest commercial fight and one that holds significant meaning. Joshua believes that after years of anticipation, their fight would still be a major event. While some may argue that it would have been even bigger a few years ago when both were undefeated, Joshua still sees it as a fight worth pursuing. Joshua also speaks about the fight in terms of legacy. He acknowledges that in boxing there will always be winners and losers, but he is confident in his own abilities. He envisions a battle where one fighter will come out on top, and he is determined to ensure that it will not be him on the losing end.
Every time I see people, they say when you fight in Fury, we're talking about the Irish community, the English community, the Nigerian community. Everyone's asked me the same question. So as a fighter, it's up to me to deliver, and that's why I'm saying it has to happen this year, especially with His Excellency, Turkey, DAZN, Eddie, Matchroom, 258 behind me, and sure with him being managed by Spencer and Gold Star now, I think we could definitely make this fight happen.
Canelo Alvarez shared his thoughts on a potential fight between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. When asked who he believed would come out on top, the Mexican boxing star acknowledged that it would be an exciting matchup, but ultimately leaned towards Fury due to his greater experience in the ring. However, when pressed on who he personally wanted to win, Canelo admitted that he would prefer to see Joshua emerge victorious.
Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, who wins?
It's gonna be a good fight.
Go on, give us one.
I don't know.
Give us one name. A favorite.
I think Fury has more experience, and I think he wins.
Who do you want to win?
Joshua.
Thank you.
Former heavyweight contender Kevin Johnson is firmly in Fury's corner. He believes that Fury has a unique advantage over Joshua, even though Joshua is the more technically skilled fighter. Johnson compares Fury's long reach to a sniper rifle, emphasizing that it makes it nearly impossible for opponents to close the distance. He argues that Fury's success is not necessarily due to his skill, but rather his ability to control the pace of the fight and keep his opponents at bay. Johnson points to Fury's dominant performance against Vladimir Klitschko as an example, stating that Fury made the former champion look out of his depth by staying in a safety zone where Klitschko couldn't land effective punches. He describes Fury's reach as a nearly insurmountable obstacle, making it difficult for Joshua to get close enough to do damage. He said, "Tyson Fury has one thing that many people can't beat. It's not skill. Anthony Joshua is definitely the more skillful fighter, but Tyson Fury is so long and in a safety zone with that reach and movement. He made Vladimir Klitschko look like an amateur. He didn't do that because he has more skill. Everybody knows that Klitschko would knock him out, but you've got to get past that reach. It's like giving somebody a sniper rifle and asking somebody 20 yards away to run up on him." Dillian Whyte remains undecided about who would win if the fight were to happen. He acknowledges that both fighters have strong cases for victory, making it difficult to predict an outcome. Whyte believes there are too many variables at play, and no true boxing purist could confidently pick a winner. His reluctance to take a firm stance highlights just how evenly matched the fight could be.
Struggling to pick one in that fight, man, because it's very hard to pick, say this guy's gonna win, this guy's gonna win. You can make a case of both guys, but I think it's a 50-50 match, I think, you know.
Alexander Usyk, who has defeated both Fury and Joshua twice, also weighed in on the potential matchup. While he does not provide a detailed analysis, he leans slightly toward Joshua, suggesting that if the fight were to go the distance, Joshua could win on points. Usyk's perspective adds another layer of intrigue, as he has first-hand experience facing both men in the ring.
The British fans will want to know you did 24 rounds with Tyson Fury, 24 rounds with Anthony Joshua. Which 24 rounds were harder together?
Tyson Fury.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody wants them to fight each other. If you was in the studio doing commentary, who do you think is the favorite if they fight each other now?
Yeah. Maybe it's Anthony Joshua.
Knockout points?
I don't know. Maybe points. I don't know.
Otto Wallen, who has also fought both heavyweights, offers a more balanced view. He acknowledges Joshua's strengths, particularly his power and counterpunching ability, and gives him a greater chance than he previously would have. However, despite recognizing Joshua as a dangerous opponent, Wallen still favors Fury in the matchup. He describes Fury as unpredictable, making him difficult to prepare for. Reflecting on his own experiences, he admits that his fight against Joshua was tougher than his bout with Fury, though he acknowledges that this does not necessarily determine how their fight would play out. Despite giving Joshua more credit than before, Wallen still sees Fury as the likely winner. He stated, "I feel like Joshua is a very good fighter, very good power, very good counterpuncher. I feel like he definitely has a shot with Fury, and you just never know what Tyson Fury shows up. I still have a hard time going against Tyson in that fight, but the fights, if you compare them, my fight against Joshua was a lot tougher than the one I had against Fury. That doesn't mean everything, but I give Joshua more of a chance than I did before, but I still would probably pick Fury as the favorite." Jim White takes a more cautious stance on the potential fight. He acknowledges that the excitement surrounding Fury versus Joshua has faded somewhat in recent years due to both fighters suffering losses. Since neither fighter currently holds a world title, he suggests that the stakes are not as high as they once were. This shift in circumstances has led some to question whether the fight still carries the same level of significance it once did.
AJ lost last time round. Fury now with 2 defeats. Is there still the hunger for that? They may say they want it over here, but is it really going to have the cachet that it once did?
I don't think it will have the appeal that it once did, but trust me, there's still a huge market for that fight. I think that people have always wanted to see that fight. Yes, they're both coming off losses to this great man now, but you got to accept, we got to accept greatness sometimes.
Despite this, Adam Smith remains optimistic about the possibility of the fight taking place in 2025. He believes that there is still interest in the matchup, even if the stakes have diminished. Smith identifies Wembley Stadium and Riyadh as possible locations for the fight, suggesting that the event could still be a major draw for fans and promoters alike. His perspective highlights that, while the fight may not be as highly anticipated as before, it remains one of the biggest potential matchups in the heavyweight division.
Everybody wants to see it. Yes, it's a little bit too late, but we got Mayweather-Pacquiao in the end. We got Khan-Brook in the end, and I think these two still... I thought the evidence of Tyson Fury on Saturday night, one or two people I read said, oh, he's gone, he's finished. He's not at all. I was worried about his legs. I think I told Ali that as well. I was worried about his legs on Saturday night. He proved that his legs are still great. He had a phenomenal training camp. He's still got plenty more to offer, in my opinion. So has Anthony Joshua, who's still fairly young. Okay, he's coming off a bad defeat.
As things stand, Fury remains retired, with no clear signs of a return. Those close to him suggest he is content with his decision, while others believe he may still be tempted back for the right opportunity. Whether or not the long-anticipated showdown with Joshua will ever happen remains uncertain, but for now, the sport moves forward with both fighters charting their own paths. So what are your thoughts about this? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.